I'm going to show you another type of invoicing, direct invoicing to GL accounts without going through a purchase order. In some cases we don't want to raise a purchase order, we want to directly invoice to the GL accounts without using a purchase order. So that is allowed in SAP. We can actually do a direct invoicing without making reference to a purchase order. The way how you have to do is just go to Myro straight away, enter the dates and enter the invoice amount. Let's say you want to directly purchase a laptop from a vendor without raising a purchase order. So let's say the laptop amount is $200 and tax is calculated at 10%, so it's 20, so 220 including tax, and go to details tab, because if you enter purchase order reference, then the vendor will be automatically populated here. Have you noticed that over in this area? But since we are not going to we are not going to raise a invoice based on a purchase order, the vendor information cannot be retrieved from the purchase order information, because we are not going to enter any purchase order information here. So there's another way where you can enter the vendor directly, which is by going into the details tab, enter the invoicing party here. Invoicing party is actually the vendor code, the vendor to which we are going to invoice this, and then come back to basic data. See, the vendor is automatically pulled out the same way like how it will be pulled out from the purchase order that you enter here. Okay, it's pulling out from the invoicing party that you enter here. Then if you don't enter this, then you'll get this message here: vendor is not defined in company code, and so forth. Let me just show you. If I don't enter that, what will happen? Okay, I entered 220. Alright, so I press enter. Then the vendor information will not be retrieved. So if I go to GL account, the system will say that at least please enter only one allocation item with a PO reference. The system will say that you must enter at least one purchase order reference so that the vendor information can be pulled out. Determine the vendor, you see this? But the problem is, if you enter the purchase order here, whatever it may be, let's say I enter this purchase order, so that it will pull out this vendor, then I'll have this unnecessary information which I need to delete off, because I'm not going to use this information. I'm not using the purchase order line items to invoice this. I'm going to enter the purchases account directly in the GL accounts here. Alright, so I don't want to actually clear off the purchase order reference in this way. It's a bit cumbersome. So I use the other way around, whereby I just enter the invoicing party here and the system will pull out the invoice here before I come to GL accounts. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to use back the original method I was teaching you. Without entering the purchase order reference, I'm going to enter 220. I'm going to calculate tax. I'm going to go to details, enter the invoicing party here, one. Then you come to basic data, it's automatically populated. Then I can go direct to GL account without entering anything in the purchase order. It says enter the document currency or an allocation to purchase. Even the document currency will be pulled out from the purchase order information. That's why it's saying that either you enter the document currency directly or enter a purchase order and press enter just to retrieve the the current currency code. But I'm going to enter directly here, USD, go to GL account. So I'm just going to pull out the laptop purchases account, which is this, because I'm buying a laptop for $200. I just enter $200 here. That's it, and then press enter. Terms of payment adopted from vendor master record. If I go here, you can see the terms of payment which is directly adopted from the vendor master record. That's good. Then I simulate, so I can post this now. Alright, so I'm directly posting to a laptops account, cost of sales laptops account, which is 600,000. Okay, so far so good. I'm going to post this document created. So this is without reference to any purchase order. You see the purchase order reference is empty, and the GL account has got the details, and everything else is the same. The GL accounting postings is the same thing. Okay, this is how I can directly post a GL account without using a purchase order. So the next topic is I'm going to show you how to directly invoice to materials without using a purchase order. Let us see.